Hey guys, RB here with a different kind of video here. Right now, at the time of this video, we're in the middle of the pre-release beta here in July. And if you watched Evo or at least heard the news from it for last week, you know that they put out the news, the dev team, about who's going to be in the season one pass for Avatar Legends of Fighting game, as well as who's going to be in the voting options for the fifth and final character of that season. And if you're like me, who's very familiar with the show, very familiar with the characters, then you kind of have an idea of who you want to vote for. But one thing that did cross my mind is that there are people here who have pre-ordered the game and are interested in Avatar Legends of Fighting game simply because they want to play a good fighting game, not necessarily because they are fans of or familiar with the IP. I can understand that because with Persona 4 Arena and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I came into both of those games not because I was super familiar with the franchises themselves, but because the fighting games look very cool. And so, imagine that you're somebody who has no clue about the Avatar IP, but you have a pre-order vote and all this power in your hands, but no idea what to do with it. So I figure, hey, what's the best way to help inform these people by giving a short little breakdown about the five characters that are up to vote. Uh, that way, you at least have an idea of what you want to vote for besides, you know, hearsay and looking at the character portraits and just uh, taking a chance on that. So what I plan to do is do a short little breakdown of what the devs during the panel mentioned that they want from the character, and I'll even suggest a video that you can watch for each character that comes from the Avatar Legends YouTube channel. And no, I'm not partnered with them or anything like that, but it is the one official place online where you can get high quality clips and whatnot of both The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. So, yeah, from that, let's start down the list in the order in which they were revealed in the panel. Now, let's start with Tenzin, the son of Aang and the Master of Korra. He is one of the primary supporting characters all throughout the Legend of Korra series. Uh, and being the son of Aang, he is, in fact, an airbending master in his own right. The dev team during the panel did say that they want to highlight his air mobility and his mastery of airbending techniques. So that will be kind of interesting to see how much they would differentiate him from the way Aang plays in Legends to this point. And going back and looking at all the older clips from the show, it looks like he does use his airbending in a more offensive manner compared to how Aang behaved in The Last Airbender. So, could we get maybe not, maybe aggressive is too strong of a word, but more offensive minded character compared to Aang? There's a lot of things he does as far as like wall splatting all the enemies in the show, so we could probably see them highlighting that a lot. So yeah, if you have a little bit of time, you can look up this particular video for Tenzin, Tenzin versus Sahir and the Red Lotus. I'll provide the link below. I think that singular fight is probably one of the best highlights of Tenzin's air mobility, which was a season 3 fight. So get that look, see if Tenzin is to your liking. And next on the list is Kuvira, the metal bending antagonist of season 4, the final season of Legend of Korra. As the devs mentioned, one of the things that they wanted to emphasize is how much the character loves control and how they want to make her a mid-range character that focuses on her metal bits to control space. Now, they did mention that they didn't prototype this as much by the time that panel was up, but yeah, if you just look at her fighting style, you can kind of see what they plan to go with. She does resemble that a fighting style of a speed boxer, and she uses those metal plates that are on her uniform to like throw it at her opponents, and then kind of like Magneto, you know, she kind of metal bends the bits that she places on the people to kind of control, throw them wherever she wants them to go. So yeah, I know there, if you looked around, there are some fans who are like, yeah, like we already have Lynn as a metal bender in the game. Do we really need another metal bender? But I kind of see Lynn as more of a Spencer Spider-Man type of character in this game, where she's going to use her cables to like swing around and maybe grab people long range. Whereas, like I mentioned, Kuvira is more of a boxer type and all that. Plus, also in that season, she has a giant mech. And that giant mech also has a giant arm cannon. So imagine kind of whipping that out for a chakra level 7 art. So something to think of. So if you want to see Kuvira in action, probably the best bet would be looking up Korra versus Kuvira's first fight. Kind of highlights a lot of what you could potentially see of her as a character in that scene. So yeah, you got some time, check that one out. And now we come to Amon, the antagonist of season 1 of The Legend of Korra. And if you kind of seen the buzz around the character in the past week or so since the voting options were announced, yeah, there's a reason why he's got a fan base. Like, even if a lot of the fans fell off of Korra in later seasons, everybody kind of remembers this guy from the first season. And as you can tell just from the design, he just had this menacing presence, menacing looming presence, that he was a real threat to Korra. Now, there is a little bit of controversy about the finale of this character, but yeah, if you decide to go watch the show on your own time, you'll kind of see what I'm alluding at with this. But anyway, the dev team mentioned that they want to emphasize his blood bending, spoilers, as well as his chi blocking, a brand of chi blocking that's going to be very different from Ty Lee's. Ty Lee, who is a season 1 DLC character announced to be in the game, and is the first on-screen practitioner of chi blocking. So that'll be very interesting to see. Also, if you manage to see this character, a lot of people are suspecting that he could be a partial grappler too, because he does kind of have this whole Star Wars Jedi Sith chokehold that he can put on people. So that's kind of something that people are really excited to see from a fighting games perspective. But anyway, now if you don't mind end of season spoilers for season 1 Legend of Korra, I can recommend Korra versus Amon, the final battle. And yeah, when looking up clips of Amon for this video, I noticed that he wasn't really in a lot of fights. Just kind of like I mentioned, he was just more of the looming presence. He had various appearances, but he didn't do much as far as like appearances, but he established himself as a dangerous villain. So this is like the one real full fight you get of him. So again, if you don't mind the spoilers, check that out and see what you think. And now we come to King Bumi, the only last airbender character in the voting pool. Introduced in season 1 and then still pops up here and there as a supporting character, but what little screen time he has in the entirety of the show, he is certainly a memorable figure. And there's a reason why a lot of the crowd, popped when his picture came up during the panel. One of the things the dev team mentioned when it comes to Bumi is that they're planning a weird and eccentric character. And if you ever seen this character, weird and eccentric is the perfect description of him. They emphasize that he's going to be teleporting through the ground, and he's going to have some 2-part earth bending where he'll create a piece of stone or whatever, and then he can do something else with it. Yeah, if you ever get a chance, like, to actually sit down and watch a full episode, watch episode 5 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. But if all you got is just a little bit of time to check it out, then we can just take the fight scene that he was involved with in that episode, Aang versus Bumi. And this will highlight a lot of what they probably plan to do with the character if he makes the cut. And the fifth and final character up to vote for this DLC pass is Asami Sato. Like Tenzin, she is a very large supporting character role in the entirety of Legend of Korra through all 4 seasons. She is an inventor. She leads a technological company, and basically the dev team wants to highlight this a lot. They mention that she's a character with a lot of tools, a lot of traps, and a lot of tech. And in a lot of her fights, she definitely favors the electric glove. Anytime she's in a fight scene, you will almost always see her pull this out at some point. But they also emphasize that they want to make her a set play oriented character, which would make a lot of sense. Like, she has a lot of gadgets. I'm sure they'll find some creative ways to get her to use some gadgets to make her stand out in this cast, because after all, remember, she is a non-bender, so she'll have to have a play style that kind of reflects this. She also drives mechs, she drives motorcycles, she drives cars in the course of the show. So, you know, it could be like Kuvira. It could be fun to see if she comes up with a chakra art where she busts out a motorcycle, or she hops in a mech and, you know, does some damage with that. So yeah, anyway, not to mention Asami is pretty easy on the eyes. That doesn't hurt. So yeah, while Asami herself doesn't have a singular standout fighting scene, there is a compilation of her best moments entitled Asami's Strongest Moments Ever. So yeah, you can take a look at that compilation and you can kind of see what the character is about, what they think they can do with her as far as fighting is concerned. Yeah, so there you have it. A quick little breakdown for all you non-Avatar loving players out there, those who plan to play but still haven't invested any time into the IP itself. Yeah, hopefully you get some time, check out the links, see, you know, what kind of characters, fighting style, or personalities really jive with you, and think to yourself, hey, which one of these characters would I really like to see in a fighting game? So yeah, there you go. And you know, just out of curiosity, if you're wondering who I'm pulling for, I'm pulling for Kuvira myself. Like, I really want to see, you know, that character represented in a fighting game. I even told myself, like, hey, even if I knew nothing about Avatar myself, the very moment the dev team mentioned mid-range for Kuvira, I was like, yep, I'm all in. I know nothing about the character, but mid-range, I'm all about it. So yeah, I hope this video helped you all at least make the decision a little easier, or maybe I made it a little harder, who knows. But yeah, if you liked, drop a like, and yep, see you in the next one. Later.